Hey guys, today we are talking about sleep, pillar number 4, and I'm really excited to actually dig into this pillar with you because it's where I struggle the most when it comes to healthy habits. I mean, we can laugh all we want. If we're moms, sleep is kind of hard to come by. It's not something that's going to be like, hey, I'm going to start this and I'm going to do this. But it's just like everything else, like eating healthy, drinking enough water, getting in our workouts, like all that stuff is challenging when you're a mom. So not all of us are moms in this group, and so if it's easier for you, great. If it's more of a struggle, we understand why. So I can tell you though that a lot of people struggle with sleep no matter what age, no matter if they have kids at home. It's just something that, as our society has become more technologically advanced, it's really hard to do nothing all night long. So I know for me, I used to be kind of in this like go to bed late, get up early, really be like I can sleep when I die kind of attitude. And the more I've learned about sleep, hey Shelly, the more I've learned about sleep, the more I learned how important it is, the more motivated I am to really make it happen. But there's so many other things that are connected to like going to bed at the time you need to go to bed when you have to wake up at a certain time the next morning. It all becomes about your bedtime routine and about getting to sleep. Some people may struggle with staying asleep once you get to sleep. Sorry, the lighting's kind of crazy. I don't look like a clown. I do have on makeup though before getting ready for PIO today. So anyway, there's a lot of different variables that come with getting quality sleep, and everybody's time that they need to spend in deep sleep is different. So you kind of have to find what works for you. But we know that REM cycles are something that your brain and body basically go through every like 80 to 90 minutes. I think some people can go through it as fast as like 45 minutes. Hey Joan, at 45 minutes is like the shortest REM cycle ever, and then usually it's more close to like 80 minutes, 90 minutes. So try to picture it like an hour and a half at a time. You basically lull to sleep, go into like, there's all these different levels of sleep. I won't go into all that and bore you. You can totally Google that. But you basically go into sleep and it's light sleep, and then eventually you get into deep sleep, and then you have REM sleep, rapid eye movement. So that's when you see people asleep and their like eyes are moving back and forth, and that's usually I think when you're dreaming. And you have to have those REM cycles for your brain to go through repairs, for your muscles to get in repair mode like they need to. So much happens while we're sleeping for our body to repair itself, for your hormones to regulate, for you to, keep your immunity up. All this stuff has to happen, or sleep has to happen for all that to happen. So really, sleep is just as important as drinking enough water, as getting in your workout, as eating healthy. It's really crazy that sleep is kind of put on the back burner for a lot of us. But like I said, especially if you have young kids, like obviously you can't sleep through when you're supposed to get up and feed your child, okay? But when you can control it, like on the nights that you can go to bed early, do it. If you struggle with having enough time to sleep at night, take naps during the day. But there's also little things like if you have trouble falling asleep at night, they actually recommend you don't take naps, especially in the afternoon, because it's messing up with your rhythm. So it's all about getting into circadian rhythm, like be awake when the sun is up, go to sleep when the sun is down kind of thing. Obviously, if you work at night, you're going to have to flip yours. And I know that's super, super, super hard. Like I cannot imagine having to flip your body's rhythms, but I know it can be done. They also suggest, this is but there's so much information out there. I'm just kind of telling you the basics of what I've come across, especially over the last several months that I've been looking more into sleep, and kind of what's recommended as a whole to try to like get good sleep, good quality sleep to better your health. Everybody, has a priority of sleeping for different reasons. Like some people just do it because like they know they have to. But I want you to understand more about why you need to sleep. like just like everything else that I'm teaching, so that you'll be more motivated to do it instead of just doing it because Jessica told me so. I don't want you to just blindly follow what anybody says. I want you to investigate it yourself. So definitely spend some time on Google and, look up research-based stuff yourself. Don't just take my word for it. But sleep is super, super, super important. And figure out if you have like 45-minute time, REM cycles, or if it's 90-minute. But you want to get into that deep sleep. You want to have that rapid eye movement until you start coming out of that light sleep, and then eventually you'll wake up on your own. Usually they want you to have like 5 of those cycles, I think. Is that right? So you would usually like 7.5 to 8 hours. That's why the 8-hour recommendation exists, because like everybody's not going to fall asleep like right at their 8-hour start mark and wake up at their 8-hour end mark. But if you can say, okay, I'm going to bed now. If I go to sleep in the next like 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to get close to 8 hours of sleep. Some people function better on 6.5 hours of sleep. So you just kind of have to test it. Like, make it a point to set your your alarm, whenever you need to, according to when you're going to fall asleep for the next day. And then you can kind of test to see how you feel. You can test to see, if you think you got enough sleep. So, maybe you're a 6-hour person, maybe you're 6.5 hour, maybe you're 7.5. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying everybody needs 8 hours. It's, just like everything else, your body is unique and you need to find out what works for you. So, just start being more aware of what time you actually fall asleep and what time you're going to wake up and how much sleep that was total, and try to like figure out maybe how many REM cycles you had. I think most of the research now says it's about 80 to 90 minutes. So try to think of it as like an hour to hour and a half at a time. So you need several of those cycles every night, and your brain is repairing. It's basically, you have to have that downtime for your brain to process what you went through that day. That's the reason dreams exist, all that stuff. You need that time to decompress where your body's not actually doing anything, but your mind really, really, truly is sorting through so much stuff. It's like helping get rid of the dead cells, the stuff you don't need anymore. So if you suffer from brain fog and that kind of thing, maybe you don't get enough sleep. If you just feel really, really tired all the time, even if you think I'm supposed to be getting 8 hours according to when I went to sleep and when I woke up, maybe you're not getting quality sleep. So little things like paying attention to if you need a firm mattress or a soft mattress, what kind of pillows do you use, what kind of sleep position do you use, all that stuff will help you get more comfortable, fall asleep quicker, and stay asleep until you need to wake up. Because if you wake up frequently, something needs to change, right? If it's not related to babies, obviously. Eventually. Everybody will get there eventually. I'm lucky to have kids who sleep through the night now, and obviously I wish I had my 6-month-old with me right now, but I'm thankful for the sleep that I do get right now. But anyway, a couple of tips for falling asleep. Obviously, screen time is like the first thing on everybody's mind, like looking at your phone or your computer or your Kindle or whatever. Usually Kindles have the low backlight or whatever. I think there's an option already for less blue light on that one. So that's good. Or read like an actual book is something that's really, really good for right before bedtime. But I know I'm super guilty of looking at my phone until I'm ready to put it down and kind of have like 20 to 30 minutes of doing nothing. Maybe watching, the computer like all the way across the room. Sometimes that's how we Netflix and chill before bed or whatever. But for the most part, I really try to have at least 30 minutes. They recommend close to an hour of no screen time before you go to sleep. But there is something you can install. They actually sell these filters that you can put on your screen they're called blue light filters, because the blue light in the screen is what messes with your melatonin. So, messes with your melatonin levels, which is basically a byproduct of serotonin, which helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. And you don't need to go taking a whole lot of melatonin to fall asleep if unless you like really, really need to. They sell it over the counter. It's not regulated, but your body is supposed to make it itself, and there's ways to increase your natural production of it before you go and use a supplement, because the more you supplement, the less your body's gonna be able to make it itself, and you want your body to make it itself for you and your kids to fall asleep and stay asleep. So magnesium is a really good supplement, which is a lot of people are actually very deficient in magnesium. So we can talk about, I'll post some magnesium rich foods, and that way you can kind of maybe focus on those, like include some more of those in dinner or something. I mean, you can eat them anytime during the day. Sorry, the sun is really bright and it's making me look crazy. I'm trying to use natural light. But let me see if I can change this. Not that it matters if you see me. Is that better? That's what I get. My computer, my phone's not even charging, so. Anyway, I'll just hold it. Okay. Hope you guys can see okay. Try not to be too distracting. Where was I? About sleep. Okay. So if you are able to block that blue light, they have glasses now that you can wear, which obviously, aren't super comfortable and might look kind of dorky, but whatever. You can wear the glasses if you're looking at your screen, and it actually blocks the blue light from there. Hey, Doris. Hey, guys. So you can wear the glasses. You can get an actual screen protector, whatever, a cover that you can stick to your screen. So when you're looking at your iPad, your phone, your, computer or whatever, it blocks the blue light. It's basically a filter. Or you can actually download something. I think it's called justgetflux.com. I put it on my laptop, and it basically, when it's supposed to be getting darker outside, it like senses the light in the room, and it also knows what time of day it is in your time zone, and it starts changing the coloring of the screen and takes the blue light out of it close to your bedtime. So it's really cool. It looks super crazy color wise, like once it starts doing that, but I think it's actually helped because I feel like I've been sleeping better. So obviously, if your nutrition is better, if you're working out every day, if you're getting enough water, obviously water can interrupt some people. They're like, I always have to get up and pee if I drink the water I'm supposed to. But I think everybody will get to a point where it regulates. You just have to be consistent with it until you get over the hump with that. Obviously everybody's different, so good luck. But hopefully your having to pee does not wake you up. But anyway, if you do all those things, all the pillars that we're going to talk about this week actually kind of lead into better sleep. Nutrition is huge. I've actually been using this supplement. It's a mixture of some different like herbs and adaptogens. Most of it's adaptogen herbs, but I'll share more about that later. But it's actually very calming, and most people, like when they drink it like an hour before bed, and like it just helps them get into deep sleep quicker, and so they have more quality sleep over the whole night. So I'm in love with it, and I loved my samples that I had, and I'm going to order more, and I will order samples so that I can share with people who want to try it. But I'm totally sold. I actually also drank it when I was traveling because I was really stressed out because I missed not my flight. I didn't miss it. It canceled on my way to New York, and I was stranded with some friends. I wasn't really stranded, but in Atlanta, and had to miss like a whole night of our New York adventure. And I was kind of stressed, so I drank the Renew. It's just like a good little herb mixture or whatever, and I was so calm, like my stress immediately went away. But most people use it for sleep, so I'll share more information about that in another post or whatever. But anyway, there's stuff like that, like smelling lavender. Like lavender, if you use essential oils, or if you have, I actually have, let me see if I can find it. Sorry, my room's kind of crazy. I use lavender hand lotion at bedtime, and I have this like pillow. My sister got this for me after we lost Nora, just to help with sleep and stuff, and it's called a lavender eye pillow, and it literally has flaxseed and lavender like in this little pillow thing. And so I would like lay it on my chest at night, like if I was watching, playing on my phone, or even during like when I was working on stuff, or if we were watching a movie or whatever, I would lay this like near my face so I could smell it. It smells so good before bedtime. Or you can like lay it across your eyes or whatever, but stuff like that helps you fall asleep. Lavender's the best plant for that as far as like smelling it. And then y'all might have some other like suggestions as far as essential oil combinations. Like if you use one of those diffusers, those are really good. So one of the biggest tips too is creating an environment like where you feel comfortable, and where you can like kind of have that routine, that ritual of, slowing down, having more of like a quiet, comforting like routine and space. Like your environment matters a whole lot. So like we started the week talking about our environment, which is like our mindset up here. Same way to like get into like a sleepy mindset, like what's around you really matters too. So, we actually really need a new mattress, and I think that's been part of our sleep struggle lately, is because we love the soft pillow top mattress, but it's so old now that it's like sinks in way too low and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking to get a new mattress ASAP, and we have the MyPillow pillows, and we're big fans of those. But I think we're going to get one of those beds that like recline like this, like where the feet raise and the back raises. My husband sleeps best if he's like cradled, and it keeps him from snoring, which helps me sleep better. So if you suffer from spousal snoring, because this is a group of women, so maybe you're the snorer, but more than likely it's your husband. It's definitely worth figuring out, if he can sit up to sleep, or if it's something with his nose, or if he needs to lose weight, whatever it is. I firsthand know how frustrating that is when you are super sleepy and your husband falls asleep first and he snores. Cannot stand it. I love my husband, but it makes me want to punch him in the face. So I totally sympathize if you have to deal with that. So if you have any tips for that, share. But with my husband sleeping slightly reclined, so he's up and he sleeps with his hands across his chest like a vampire, he does not snore. So he's also, he's like not really overweight at all, but like he collects all his, if he gains any weight, it's all like abdominal weight for the most part. And if he loses even just 5 pounds, like his snoring gets so much better. So, all that is like, a lot of people have sleep apnea now because either their nutrition is bad and they like might gain weight or whatever, or they just have other issues. Yes, testing to see if there's sleep apnea going on is super important. Good point, Laura. Everybody that has super bad snoring, I don't know, does it matter if it's even light snoring? I guess no matter what, if you're doing that where it's like literally you're stopping breathing, it matters for, seeing if there's like a deeper issue or whatever. So it's kind of scary. But anyway, a little bit of weight loss can help with that, and sleeping in an incline. So anyway, we're trying to get a better bed, and just keeping up kind of like this routine that we have. And even though we stay up late, like just because my husband's a musician, like we are definitely more night owls. It's just what happens because he plays music, and we're usually up late because of that. He obviously doesn't have a show every night, but they recommend that you kind of keep the same sleep pattern every day of the week as much as possible, especially even on the weekends. So like if you go to bed around 11 or so, and then you wake up at 6:37, do that on the weekends too. Now obviously we're big fans of sleeping in like an extra hour when we can, but if you'll notice, sometimes when you wake up in the middle of your sleep cycle, that you're going to be more groggy, you're going to feel like you barely slept, and all the sleep that you did get almost feels like it didn't matter. So timing it to where you're not waking up in the middle of a sleep cycle will make you feel so much better. So sometimes you might not get as many cycles as you need, but as long as you're not waking up in the middle of a cycle, you'll feel much more rested. So it's worth kind of figuring out. I wish we all can have like this little mobile machine that we hooked up to our brains while we slept, so that we could like figure out what our brains needed, what our bodies needed for, sleep and everything. That would be fantastic, because then we would all feel so much better. Sorry, my curtain's crazy. The window's still open. Let me do a quick time check. Okay. And some of the other tips, they're like drinking, obviously make sure it's not caffeinated, but like chamomile tea. There's some other drinks that you can drink like before bed. Usually even warm lemon water, has actually helped a lot of people. Just like it kind of calms everything. It kind of helps flush the rest of the stuff out of you, so that you're not like, because if you're constipated or feeling bloated, if you're having problems digesting, it's really hard for you to sleep. So another thing about like not eating super late, like if I'm hungry before bed, I'm usually going to eat a little bit of something, but nothing super big. And lately, the way I've been eating and testing different like eating methods and stuff, I haven't even been hungry for like a bedtime snack or anything. So I usually try to eat dinner no later than like 7:30 or 8, which is a challenge. But if I do that and then I have like a good 3 hours usually before I'm planning on going to bed, I don't have like digestion issues when I'm trying to sleep, because your body is doing so much other stuff. Like your brain's working overtime, your body's working on repairing and all that. And you're supposed to be like kind of fasting, right? So if your body's spending all this energy digesting like a bunch of food, like a huge meal you ate before bed, you also won't get as in deep of a sleep as you would get if you go to bed slightly hungry, or at least not super full. Does that make sense? So like the timing of your meals, it's not more about like, it's not just really about like gaining weight or losing weight or whatever, which that does matter for that a little bit for some people. It's more about your body not having to really focus on digesting while you're supposed to be sleeping and doing other stuff. So some of the top tips that I wanted to share with you guys, I've pretty much shared. Guys, I need y'all out. I need you out for just a minute. Okay. Awesome. Marley lost another tooth. I think most of the tips that I was going to say, that I really wanted, that I thought were super important, that have really helped us, I think I got most of those said. We're going to talk about movement, fitness, exercise tomorrow, so that'll really help with expending your energy, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have the energy to work out, but then you can't sleep at night. It's because you didn't expend your energy properly. So even if it's just a walk, even if it's just a 15-minute workout that you do at home, I work out at home. I teach PiYo at the gym, but I lift weights, I do cardio, I do all that stuff at home. And I think because I've been so consistent lately, like since the beginning of the year, that's another reason my sleep has improved, because I'm really, tearing my muscles. I'm giving something for my body to repair overnight. I'm expending my energy. I'm sweating out toxins. So all of that leads to better sleep too. So if you're not already exercising daily, I highly recommend it. And like I said before, setting up your room so that it's cozy and conducive to sleep. If you need to get blackout curtains, if you need to make sure you turn the lights down low. I'm one of those people that's like a huge atmosphere person. I like some of the restaurants that I like to go to, or places I like to hang out. It's all based on atmosphere, like the lighting and just whether it's super loud or, kind of quiet or whatever. Because that to me, I don't know, it just makes you feel a certain way, right? So same way with your house, like with my kids even, when it comes 8 o'clock, like after we've eaten and we've like kind of gone into like wind down mode or whatever, our kids don't get in bed till closer to 9. So we should probably do something about that. But, when we're in wind down mode, the lights are dimmed. We try to like turn the TV off and have them just play with each other. So anyway, just kind of setting up like a low light environment. If you can put candles out of the reach of children, or get those candles that are actually flameless, but they have like a little paper wick that kind of flickers when you turn the candle on, and it looks like a real flame and like has reflection on the ceiling and all that stuff. Super nice. Like there's no reason not to take extra steps to make your room feel like a sanctuary you can sleep in. One of the other biggest tips is not using your bedroom for anything else but sleeping and relations with your spouse or whatever. But we actually have our home office in our room right now, so it kind of makes it challenging, but we kind of have the room separated, like the desk and stuff, all that is over there. I work out over there. And then we kind of have like our routine of not really like hanging out on the bed or whatever until it's time for bed. So everybody's different. Like maybe you hang out in your room all day long too, and you don't have a problem sleeping, or maybe, I work from my bed sometimes. So, because if my husband's on his big computer over there, I'll sit in my bed. But I don't think it really affects my sleep just because I've gotten into a routine with that. So it's all about your routine. It's all about your other habits all coming together to kind of make your body crave sleep. And then when you get the sleep you need, your brain functions so much better. I know, like I said in the post earlier, my likelihood of eating crap food goes way up when I'm sleepy. I'm cranky. I get short with my kids. I just kind of, my negative mindset is a lot harder. It kind of tries to creep in a lot more on the days when I lack sleep. So sleep is super important. And if you are going to have to wake up early, I know April posted earlier, she wakes up at 4:30 every day so she can get her workout in at the gym. You're going to have to go to bed earlier. That's really like the main answer for that. And if you can't go to bed earlier, make sure that when you are getting close to your bedtime, you don't use screens or get the blue light filter. Make sure that you are just as free from distractions as possible so that you fall asleep quickly, get into that deep sleep, and then you're easily woken up in the morning. So I challenge you to pay attention to your nutrition as you improve it. And if you start working in exercise and stuff, to see if that helps you get to sleep. Change your room around a little bit if you need to. We kind of like totally rearrange our room, once a year almost. But that routine is everything. So just like getting in a routine to help yourself eat better, just like getting in a routine to drink more water throughout the day, just like getting in a routine of speaking sweetly to yourself and thinking positive thoughts and banishing the negative stuff and just trying to see the silver lining, do that too with your sleep. So treat sleep sacredly so that you don't actually damage the cells in your brain more. It's been shown that people who are chronically sleep deprived actually have like holes in their brain. Like it literally kind of eats away at some important spots of your brain. And so you might have like short-term memory issues or long-term memory issues. My memory is not the best, but I know it's better when I get better sleep, when I am eating healthier and all that stuff. So just pay attention to it. Like all the other pillars I'm talking about, you need to be your biggest advocate for what works for you. Okay. If you have more tips or suggestions or questions or anything about sleep, let me know. I'm going to share some podcasts in the comments from the Chalene Show that I find super informative. And I really want you to listen to them. So I'm going to end this live so that you don't have to listen to me anymore and you can listen to the experts, okay? So I want you to listen to these podcasts, and tomorrow we're going to talk about movement and exercise. So I hope you guys have a rest of a great Thursday, and make sure you listen to these podcasts. You can put your earbuds in your ear and do laundry, cook food, drive to wherever. You have to download it if you're going to listen to it when you're not on Wi-Fi. But if you haven't started listening to podcasts and learning stuff in your free time, I highly, highly recommend it. It's changed my mindset hugely, and I've learned so and the Chalene Show is just great all around for learning all kinds of stuff. So I will link those specific episodes that I want you to listen to regarding sleep, and just keep me posted.